Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are looking at F1 drivers explain F1. So this is going to be quite cool since we are reacting to a lot of F1 the past few days. I thought, why not watch how F1 actually works, like everything I need to know, because I don't know 100% everything, so we're going to find out on this video right here. Also, we could learn a thing or two. You could also learn a thing or two. So stick around till the end. Let's watch what we learn. Don't forget to hit that like button early if you may. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps out. Without further ado, let's get on to it.
Why is a weekend 3 days? Mainly because in Formula 1 it's a bit of a classic to have 3 days. We use Friday as a free practice day.
So 3 days we have on the race weekend. We just have 3 hours of practice on the Friday. Generally when you get to a track you just need time to learn about the car, about the track, about the conditions.
We divide the weekend into 3 parts. Here we would practice, here we would qualify, here we would race. We use this day to learn everything we can about the car and the track.
Saturday is really about refining the changes you made in practice in the morning, qualifying for position to where you start from the race.
We use this day to exploit the maximum we can out of our machines to qualify as best as possible for race day. That is the important day.
You can definitely do it all in one day.
Okay, so when this happens, they need 3 days. First is practice day. They practice, learn about the car, get used to it, the track and all that stuff. The second day is for qualifying, and the third day is the big day, the actual race, where they get the actual results.
There's not enough time or energy.
Practice is very important to prepare qualifying, but also to prepare mainly the race.
Okay, got it.
F1 points are awarded by the position, obviously, and if you win a race, you get 25 points. The biggest gap between the points is in the higher positions, so from second to third is quite a big gap as well. But then it gets closer, and if you finish 10th, you get 1 point.
So F1 points are awarded to the cars that finish in the top 10 positions. So starting with first place, down to 10th, you get 25 points, then 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 1.
And we also have a point for the fastest lap of the race.
Valtteri Bottas is going for the fastest lap.
To gain that, sometimes you might need to compromise your strategy to put fresh tires at the end of the race when you have less fuel in the car, when the car is lighter. So you might try and go for it, but there's always a bit of a risk doing that.
Winner gets 25 probably. Second 18, 15, and from there 10th get 1 and everybody can count.
Got it. I hope you're all getting this so far.
Are made for us to basically cut the track in a few sections, so it's clearer to us where we are losing time or where we are gaining time. Most of the tracks have 3 sectors in Formula 1.
If we draw Barcelona very quickly here, it goes like that, it's very poor, but basically you divide it into 3. You have the first chicane, and turn 3, you have the second sector, and then you have the third sector. First sector, basically we call it the fast sector because you have the whole long straight and a very fast corner that is flat out. The second sector becomes a bit twistier and medium speed corners, and the third sector is actually pretty slow.
So it's just easier for everyone to say, okay, here's something happening in sector 1, or here's something happening in other sectors.
And it helps the teams basically to divide the performance of their own car to learn in which type of corner you can improve.
Why are you laughing, man? I feel like an idiot.
What is an
apex
apex? We do not know that.
How do you even explain it? It's funny, as a driver you just do things and don't really, but okay, so let's use this one. So the apex is the point of the corner where you want to close the corner to then give you the best trajectory to exit the corner in the fastest ways.
An apex is the point you gotta reach in the middle of the corner, which is most of the time at the apex, like around the curb. So yeah, middle of the corner, basically there and there.
An apex, I'm gonna draw you here on this lovely whiteboard. So we've got the racing car here, and I'll draw the racing line, which is from the outside of the track, hitting the inside of the corner before running wide to the exit of the corner again.
The apex is the most central and the slowest part of the corner, but you never know where the grip is. Sometimes it could be more like this could be late apex, early apex.
You want to come out a little bit higher up top to then flow through apex somewhere here and then come out like that. And that'll give you a trajectory where you can come late into the corner and kind of slingshot out. So that is what we call an apex, the point where we kind of...
Okay, I think I got it.
And the apex is described at the point of which you hit the inside of the track. So we often describe it, hitting the apex around the corner, and most of the times, the more apexes you hit, the better it is.
There could be many different angles of doing this corner, depending on your car setup and wind direction and so on.
I just learned something myself, actually. Or confused myself even more, I don't know.
Understeer is when you turn and car doesn't turn, basically.
So the apex, I totally understood that. I had no idea about it, but that's why we're here to learn, Hope you also understood that. Let's see the next one.
The front tyre side. It's when
Understeer and oversteer.
The rear of the car often pushes the car forwards, and it's just not, the car's not rotating at the rate in which you're putting the angle in.
Generally, drivers don't like understeer. I think in a general thing, I think road cars that you drive will have a lot of understeer because it's very safe. But a quick car generally is oversteer, so you need the car to be reactive because that way you can carry the most speed through a corner.
Understeer and oversteer, the two most famous words in an engineering debrief. Understeer is when the car is not responding to the amount of steering lock that you are winding on. It's when the car understeers. You're demanding more steering lock for the amount of front end that you want.
Understeer is when you turn the steering wheel into a corner and the front of the car is sliding, so the car is going straight more than you want to. And oversteer is the opposite, is that when you turn the steering wheel, the rear end slides and the car turns more than you want it to.
If you ever watch Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, that is oversteer. So the front, let's say if the trajectory of the car is doing this, let's say that's kind of what I mean, the front and rear wheels following the line. The rear wheels would go, let's say, past the slip angle, past the line, and tends to mean that the rear is losing grip. So when we complain about oversteer, will generally mean that the rear is moving too much and it's moving out of line. So,
okay.
Yeah, you'll often see spins where we get a snap of oversteer and we do this. Insert one of my crashes.
There it is again.
The oversteer would be if you come into the corner a bit too fast perhaps, and you maybe have this kind of moment when the rear slides and you have to make a correction, because the rear, if you don't make a correction, then you're going to spin.
And oversteer is when you turn and it turns too much and usually overpowers the rear, so the rear steps out and you have to correct.
Yeah, I have a funny story. There was a Japanese driver who I used to race against in GP3, and I convinced him, he didn't know much English, so I convinced him that oversteer was understeer and understeer was oversteer. So for the first test, he was complaining of oversteer, but he meant understeer, and it was understeer. Anyway, I thought that was quite a funny joke, but apparently it wasn't that funny.
Okay, you tried. At least you tried. Oh, let's go away with this ad.
Lockup is when
What is a lockup?
basically brake too hard and you exceed the amount of grip available, so the tyre basically stops and locks, and it like
Oh really?
You kind of get smoke because of the rubber and the friction, I guess, on the tarmac. So it's basically when you brake too hard.
Formula One lockups, something that you see quite a lot on TV. You see drivers finding the limit of the front tires, and it means that you're always trying to keep both axles under maximum deceleration, trying to slow the car as much as possible. But normally when you lock up, it's because you've applied too much brake pressure for the grip available, and the tire just stops.
So lockup is basically happens when you brake, because we don't have an anti-locking brake system like you do on your road cars. So basically, if I use this little demonstration here, the wheel's turning as you're going down the straight, and when you brake, as opposed to it kind of decelerating while it's still turning, it kind of stops turning, and you just pretty much go straight like that, and you basically can flat spot the part of the tire that stops rotating. And
I got it.
Vibration while you're driving.
So that is a
You do
lockup.
And the tire is not grounded anymore. You've taken off a piece of tire.
Then you need to go to a pit stop and change tire, I
Once
guess.
you have one lockup, then every time you start braking, it's very easy to hit this part of the tire and keep locking it up. So you start taking even more part of the tire. And then the next time you brake, it's easier to lock up again because the tire is more square. And you end up, it's an exaggeration, with a tire that is nearly squared, and you need to pit because you have very little grip, a lot of vibrations, and it's nearly undrivable.
If you lock up for too long, then the rubber on that point starts to get chewed up, and you get what we call a flat spot after a lockup, and then you get vibrations, which isn't fun. So a lockup is braking too hard, I guess that's the easiest way to say it.
So do not brake too hard, I guess.
When post-race or post-qualifying, the scrutineers and the officials check the cars. Our team can't touch the car, can't touch any special parts of the cars to be checked like it is.
The car cannot be touched by any member of the team or any fan.
To make sure that there's no cheaters, basically. Is it that, more or less? Yeah? Okay.
Wow. Well, that was interesting. I learned quite a lot of things in this video. I hope you did as well. That was really helpful. So in the upcoming F1 videos I'll be creating, I will know a bit more about it. Won't you say? Well, I guess you enjoyed. Don't forget, hit that like button. Like, why not? I know you all enjoyed it because you're at the end of the video. So like this video, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you on the next video, I guess. Peace out.